Hi David. Being new to the co-op, can you tell me more about laws on hours of work, applicable for co-op employees?
Oh hi Miss Julie, welcome to the organization. It's my pleasure to serve you. Well, the hours of work applies to employees in all establishments and undertakings, whether for profit or not, but not to government employees. This does not also apply to managerial employees, field personnel, members of the family of the employer who are dependent on him for support. This does not apply also to domestic helpers, persons in personal service of another, and workers who are paid by results.
May I know who our managerial employees are?
That's a good question. Well, those whose primary duty consists of management of the establishment in which they are employed or of a department or subdivision thereof. They customarily and regularly direct the work of 2 or more employees. They have the authority to hire or fire other employees of lower rank, or their suggestions and recommendations as to the hiring and firing, and as to the promotion or any other change of status of other employees are given particular weight. They are also officers and members of the managerial staff, if they perform the following duties and responsibilities. A. The primary duty consists of the performance of work directly related to management policies of their employer. And B. Customarily and regularly exercise discretion and independent judgment.
Why are managerial employees not covered by the standard working hours as provided by the code?
Because they are employed by reason of their special training, experience or knowledge, and for positions requiring the exercise of discretion and independent judgment. The value of their work cannot be measured in terms of hours.
And what constitutes hours worked?
Great question. Well, number 1, all time an employee is required to be on duty or to be at the employer's premises or to be at a prescribed workplace. And number 2, all time an employee is suffered or permitted to work. If an employee could not abandon his work at the end of his normal working hours because he has no replacement, all the time spent waiting for the replacement is considered hours worked, if known to employer or superior.
But what about the meal and rest periods? Do we have laws on these?
Yes, the law requires not less than 60 minutes of meal periods, and the rest period or coffee breaks should be maximum of 20 minutes.
I really appreciate your kindness in sharing me all these laws, but can you tell me more about laws particularly on overtime?
No problem. Don't mind it. Well, to answer your question, take a look at this. The work overtime is considered the work performed beyond regular working hours, plus compensation equivalent to his regular wage, plus at least 25% thereof.
Oh, I see. I have another question. May an employee be required to render overtime work?
Good question. Well, the general rule: overtime work is voluntary. But of course there are some exemption cases like the following. 1. When country is at war or national or local emergency has been declared by the President. 2. When necessary to prevent loss of life or property or in case of imminent danger to public safety due to actual or impending emergency. 3. There is urgent work to be performed on machines, installations, or equipment in order to avoid or serious loss or damage to the employer. 4. When work is necessary to prevent loss or damage to perishable goods. And 5. Where completion or continuation of the work is necessary to prevent serious obstruction or prejudice to the business or operation.
Thank for that information. Well, how about holiday? What's our law on this?
Well, employees required to work on a holiday should be paid by their employer with 200% of his regular rate. However, there are also exemptions to this. 1. Employees in retail and service establishments regularly employing less than 10 workers. 2. Government employees. 3. Domestic helpers and persons in personal service of another. 4. Managerial employees. 5. Certain field personnel and other employees are not entitled for a holiday pay.
Those were very helpful information.
So, being the new manager, this is how we compute the pay of employees entitled for a holiday pay, 200% of his regular rate. But if he worked overtime, he is entitled to 200% for the first 8 hours plus 30% thereof in excess of 8 hours, if worked. Overtime rendered on scheduled rest day, 200% plus 30% in excess of 8 hours plus 30% premium pay. Employee paid by result or output, holiday pay shall not be less than his average daily earnings for the last 7 actual working days preceding the last 7 actual working days preceding the regular holiday, or the minimum daily rate, whichever is higher. But on the successive regular holidays, employee may not be paid for both holidays, if he absents himself from work on the day immediately preceding the first holiday. But if he works on first holiday, he is entitled to holiday pay for second holiday.
Can you also show me how our monthly salary is being computed? Including service incentive leave, please?
Well, simple. An amount not less than the minimum wage rate, multiplied by 365 days, divided by 12 is equal to monthly salary. And for the service incentive leave, employees who have rendered 1 year of service, shall be entitled to a yearly service incentive leave of 5 days with pay.
Alright. And I think I had enough for this day. Maybe I can continue learning more of this the next day. Thank you very much, Dave. You are such a big help.
Sure. No problem. I will be glad to be of service to you.